What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the camera comparison between the Redmi Note 5 Pro and the Mi A1. On the rear, Mi A1 comes with a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel primary camera with wide angle lens and f2.2 aperture and a 12 megapixel secondary camera with f2.6 aperture and telephoto lens. Redmi Note 5 Pro also comes with a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel primary camera with f2.2 aperture and Sony IMX486 sensor. That's followed by a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f2.0 aperture from Samsung, which is used only for the depth sensing. On the front, Mi A1 comes with a 5 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture and Note 5 Pro comes with a 20 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture and a Sony IMX376 sensor. Now let's look at some sample pictures. Both the phones lack auto HDR for the rear cameras, so all these images were taken with HDR turned off. Both phones overexpose the shot and have warm colors, but Mi A1 does it a bit more, and that results in a huge difference in color reproduction. Both phones lose details and colors at the overexposed part, but the damage is more with Mi A1. Rest of the aspects like sharpness, dynamic range and capturing speeds are equally good on both the phones. These are some pictures taken with HDR on both the phones. In HDR mode, both the phones take like a second to capture the image. On Redmi, preview window freezes for a second, which is very annoying. On Mi A1, we see a loading animation on the preview image, which looks more subtle. Images from A1 look more brighter with warmer colors, and images from Redmi looks dull with neutral color balance. Despite how bright the image looks on A1, images from Redmi have better details and better color reproduction. These are some macro shots. Focusing speeds and capturing speeds are equally good on both the phones, but there is a difference in color reproduction, just like with the regular images. Now let's look at some portrait shots. Both the phones have a dual camera setup on the rear and offer portrait mode. On Mi A1, dual cameras on the back have different focal length, so when you enter portrait mode, you get a zoomed image. On Redmi, we don't have such a problem, so you can take a wider portrait shot. Edge detection and background blur effect is equally good on both the phones, but color reproduction, skin tones look much better on Redmi Note 5 Pro. So for portrait shots, I would prefer Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now coming to selfies, only Redmi Note 5 Pro offers auto HDR, but most of the time it doesn't work properly, so it's better to turn it off. Yes, sometimes HDR mode works really well, but auto HDR doesn't, so it's better to use HDR mode manually. Now all these pictures were taken on both phones with HDR turned off in the evening around 4:30. Redmi Note 5 Pro comes with a 20 megapixel selfie camera with a wide angle lens, and undoubtedly it takes better selfies than Mi A1. Color reproduction, exposure control, dynamic range and skin tones all look better on Redmi Note 5 Pro. Yes, it overexposes the image to make you look fair just like the Oppo and Vivo phones, but at the end of the day, selfies do look much better on Redmi. Even in low light conditions, Note 5 Pro takes better selfies. It even comes with a dedicated flash and it does help a little in light distribution. Selfies from Redmi have better colors and are more usable. Redmi also offers portrait mode for selfies, and here are the sample shots. As of now, Mi A1 doesn't support portrait mode right out of the box. Now coming to low light performance, colors on Mi A1 are to the warmer side and they are neutral on Redmi. Images from Mi A1 look more bright, but they lack sharpness, while Redmi's images are slightly dull and dark, but they are more sharper and have better color reproduction. Even when we use the flash, Redmi does a better job with sharpness, exposure control and color reproduction.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is a camera comparison between the Mi A1 and the Redmi Note 5 Pro. On the left side I have the Redmi Note 5 Pro and on the right side I have the Mi A1. Audio is also from both the phones itself, so you can check out the audio. So you can check out the noise cancellation from both the phones and the stabilization.
Now coming to video recording, Mi A1 supports 4K video recording but doesn't offer any stabilization. On Redmi Note 5 Pro, we can only record video in 1080p, but it offers electronic image stabilization. And because of that, footage is not as wide as Mi A1, but the stabilization is really good. Colors still look warmer on Mi A1, so color reproduction looks much better on Redmi. Note 5 Pro overexposes the footage to make it look bright, so at bright places, it loses details and colors. Exposure shift and focusing speeds are equally good on both the phones, but dynamic range is slightly better on Redmi. Electronic image stabilization alone is good enough to choose Redmi as the winner, but even the footage quality is better than Mi A1. So for video recording, Redmi Note 5 Pro is definitely the winner. Now coming to the front camera video recording, both the phones can only record video only at 1080p. Redmi offers electronic image stabilization even for the front camera, but it isn't as stable as the rear camera footage. In terms of stabilization, both phones are almost the same, but color reproduction, exposure control are better on Redmi. Even though Redmi uses electronic image stabilization, its footage is still wider than Mi A1. So for front camera video recording, once again Redmi is the winner. So guys, to conclude, in the camera comparison, Redmi Note 5 Pro is definitely much better than Mi A1. Just in case if you're confused between these two phones, definitely go with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. The only advantage Mi A1 has are the software updates, a complete unibody metal design, and the lightweight. But if you go with the Redmi Note 5 Pro, you're getting better cameras, bigger battery, better performance, the newer 18:9 aspect ratio display, and a lot more cool features. So guys, looking at the sample pictures and the sample footage, which phone do you think did better? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy either of these phones, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag #AskGreedyTech on Twitter, and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.